Hello fungies and welcome to 𝐋𝐢𝐧𝐤𝐬. As you can see at the pub, I have been rather busy these last couple of weeks. Do you know how it is? Tackling farms and big projects require a lot of resources, require proper storage, to have good tools and stuff. So for this episode, I decided to tackle all of those things at once. I pretty much have all of the netherite tools, and I have them enchanted by now, including the back tank / jetpack thingy. This one is going to be especially useful for building around base. It's almost like playing creative. Is that a bit cheaty? I mean, possibly, but I'm bloody clumsy, so any help is good help. I also want to have this starting area to be as ready as possible for future projects. I want to have as many features as I can, starting with this workstation. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good workstation. I'm constantly retweaking this for several different reasons, mostly because I don't have that much power, so either way, I want a better one. This is good, but I want better. This is what I have been working on. It's much more extended, it has several more features. I tried to think of everything I normally need on a daily basis, but more importantly, on this stuff I actually do by hand, because many things I'd rather automate fully than having a workstation for them. In the first section, I have placed all of the bulk processing stuff, so basically the encased fans and the blocks from Create connected. I'll show those in a second, but essentially we have the normal blasting, cooking, hunting, washing, and additionally we also have sieving and sanding. We have this stuff from Create connected. It's rather handy because you don't have to handle the water, you don't have to handle the lava and stuff like that, and it's also rather cheap to craft. So we have to craft this empty fine catalyst, and to this thing we can add several things. So you can have salt sand for the hunting, the sand is for the sanding, more dyes, water for washing, even more dyes. You can freeze stuff, and there is a bunch of different crafting methods. It's quite interesting. But in the second section, we have all of those processes that require different machines. So logistics are a bit different by necessity. That means the crushing wheels, some smaller wheels, but these ones are for sanding. I will show those in a moment. We also have the milestone, a press to make sheets, another press to make compact blocks, deployers to make casings, another deployer but this time with an axe, so it makes 3 blocks, and finally one last deployer but this time with honeycomb for waxing. And this is why we have them separate. Unlike the encased fans, these do require a bit more logistics and a bit more connection, so I like to have them in 2 different blocks. But basically this is the machine I mentioned before, the Jelly Do crushing wheels. This is basically for polishing. It's from Enchantment Industries, and it can do pretty much as it sounds, so it polishes anything. It can polish the rose quartz, it can polish the blocks, so stone blocks and stuff like that. And we can also convert the experience nuggets into liquid, and that's why I have it here, at least that's the idea. So I have this tank, and what I'm intending to do is to have this section to repair my tools. So if I'm working at the base or something, I'm not going to be receiving experience, so I'm not going to be using the mending that often. So I thought I could just place it here, have these things with experience, and just use it as a way to repair the tools basically. The only caveat is that it's so crammed together that we cannot extract the experience right now. The output is there, where the millstone is. My idea is, because I'm likely not going to use the millstone that often, I might just remove this section and extract the experience. If I don't do that because it turns out I use the millstone a lot, I'm likely just going to connect this stone to an experience farm or something. Another feature that they have going on are the colors. I imagine you have noticed by now, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, the green ones are the input, the orange ones are the output. On this section is quite obvious, I guess, at least to me, because I always place the input at the top side. It basically makes logistics much easier. But I was thinking for sections like these where the output and the input are particularly obvious when they are. This one, for example, the input is at the floor and the output, I guess, is a bit more obvious if you look at it. This one the same if you don't notice where are the directions going and all of that. It's not as obvious as those ones, I guess. And another thing I didn't want it to use was using signs everywhere. The issue with this is that how are you going to place a sign here? Unless you have a sign sticking out or something. I like it. And to be honest, I'm quite enjoying those colors. I think it looks quite fun. I think it looks quite different how I used to have them. But yeah, I'm enjoying this one. Other than that, we also have the crafting grid. This one obviously doesn't have an input. It's a place to put the covers and stuff. Those are used in case we need to craft something with a different shape. We have to place those. I also have button anyway, so it's technically not needed, but yeah. But like before, the orange is still the output, so that's fine. This is just for fluids. If you need lava or something, I find myself quite often stealing lava from one of my machines. So I thought, why not? Why not have one spot for lava and one spot for the water? So I thought that would be quite handy. Which, now that I think about it, I have to change the colors here. Because this section was on that side, and I moved it here at the end. I think I haven't finished building this. But basically the input is the bottom one here instead of the top one. So this section, I thought it would be quite handy. I have basically an input to throw buckets of lava, buckets of water and stuff like that. And it's going to throw them in this drain, and that drain is going to extract all of the fluids, and the mechanical arm will place the empty bucket on the top barrel. I'm doing this because it has happened many times that I just have 4 different water buckets or my chest or something, and it starts to be annoying. I thought a way to empty them is probably quite nice without having to empty them on the floor or something. The issue is that if we place another bucket of lava, cannot dump another lava source on the same spot. There is already one. But thankfully this observer is going to detect it and it's going to trigger this. This is an extender, basically to avoid the double output of redstone. So the piston is going to extend, it's going to destroy the fluid and it's going to retract again. And that will allow for another bucket of lava or something else to be placed there instead. And we have it at 6 ticks, which is more or less what it takes to extend and retract. So that way, when the piston retracts, it's not going to trigger the observer again. Because we thought this is going to happen and it's a bit annoying. So now, yes, what happens if we place bucket on you? The empty bucket is here, the lava is still. The bucket will very slowly go to the top. And in theory now we should have, if we rotate this, there we go. Okay. But yeah, this is the last section. Aside from this dimension is just a dimension basically. We are just saying, I'm not sure which one of the mods has this, but basically it's going to be connected on an infinite lava source. And from that lava source is going to be pulled this little setup. And I know it looks a bit slow, but it's more than enough to fuel all of those. And to get the water, we have this pump. And from this pump, we have this little guy. So this little guy is like a Stirling engine. There we go. I haven't touched aeronautics, so I'm not sure if this is a common add-on or what exactly is that. But I thought it was quite handy. All it requires is like a heat source underneath. And it doesn't have to be a place born. It can be a blast furnace or something like that. So I thought, because we have infinite lava source anyway, we can have a place born now and just collect them with the rest. And it's basically not consuming a whole lot, to be honest. And this produces 4,000, so it's quite decent. For something that doesn't require water or anything, it's quite decent. This leaves us with the last section. Here it's a bit kind of another meme, kind of useful. So one of the things I don't like is that I always end up having several mixers, because some recipes require 3 inputs, some require 2, some require fluids, some require heat. And basically covering all of those options is quite impossible. So that's why usually I have several mixers for each different situation, basically. But I thought, surely there is a way to do everything. Surely there is a way for that. So yeah, we have two of these connected here, one of them for lava, one of them for water like before. These are also connected to the basin, because some recipes require lava, some recipes require other fluids. So at least we have two of those. In case we need anything else, we have this system. So it's basically like this. We throw whatever item on this one, it's going to drain it, and all of them go back to the basin. Then to control which one goes into the basin, because we just have one input, we cannot place like one of the tubes into the basin. It will block every side, basically. I just decided this is where I used to have a bulb, and that's all it needs, to be honest. The only issue with this system is that once this is full of water, lava, or whatever, I can't find a way to empty this, because I want to be able to remove chocolate, for example, or milkshake or tea. So that's why I hook this to the section you saw before. It's basically connected to this one. My idea was, instead of having this always connected, because obviously we don't want to be outputting the fluids all the time, I thought, why don't have them here and just flip them around when we need them. In case we need to heat up this basin to produce whatever, and we need lava, we can just flip this around, and this is going to receive the fuel. I like this idea because I always have a wrench. It's as easy as just clicking it, like it would be as easy as just pressing a button. That's why I thought it was a rather clever idea. That's how we are handling the fluids. Then we have the input, so we can have up to 3 inputs. We don't have that many sides to use, to be honest. And I realized we actually don't need any side at all, like at all, because these mechanical arms actually work straight to the basin. Like you can select this as the output, yeah. You can select this to deposit items down, and obviously you can select all of this as the intake. So that's how I'm doing it. My idea is that it's going to start with one of these and force one of these, but because the basin can have multiple items, just a limited amount of each item. When it's done placing charcoal, for example, it's going to start adding the honey or whatever other item we're needing, right? At least that's what I'm thinking. If it's done placing one, it's going to jump to the second and then jump to the third. That's what I'm hoping. I know there is also some configs you can do, like forced round robin and stuff like that. I'm not sure how those work. Like, if any of you know, maybe if I force round robin, it's going to force one of each before it goes back or something. Let me know how this exactly works, because maybe this is going to help us pick up all of the items, basically. But that's kind of the idea. I still have to test it out. Guess we could test it out. I guess we actually could. So far, yes, taking one of each. It's taking one of each, and this is set to round robin. We'll place it to force round robin. Seems to do the same. I guess this one makes triple sure it's doing a round robin, while the other one, there could be scenarios where that doesn't happen. And if we prefer first target, okay, it's always taking. How is this the first target if that's the last one? That's literally the last one. Okay. I'm going to leave it as first round robin then. It sounds more reliable, but again, if you understand how those work, let me know, because to me they don't make that much sense. But yeah, that's basically the setup. But yeah, here you can place the recipe that you want. A pretty decent tip if you didn't know. Instead of placing on this slot which item you want to craft, I usually use the list filter. I use this because if you use Hemi or one of those, you can actually fill those up from here. This way you can just change the filter to whatever you want, and you don't really need any of those items. So that's At least to me, it's always a nice tip. But this is pretty much it, to be honest. I have to finish a few touches and I have to import this into the survival server, but right now I'm in quite a lot of shoulder pain, so I'm likely going to try to sleep maybe. But for now, let's go back to survival. And just like that, we have a workstation on lava. And by just like that, I mean it has been several days, but really pleased to know that my shoulder is doing much better. Now it's my knee. My knee is killing me. So the moral of the story is, fungi, seriously, don't get old. It's not worth it. Just don't get old. But yeah, now we have a lava. I would have shown how I did this, but I messed it up so much through 5 hours of troubleshooting that it's not pretty. It's not pretty. Basically, this is a single layer of lava. Everything else is flowing lava. And even though it's not lava sources, it still counts for the bottomless supply. So I tried to do the same thing, but with a single source of lava instead of one single layer. But for some reason, I couldn't make it work. Like first, logistics, the physics, the fluid physics, it was super hard to figure out. And even when I managed to make it work, it was still not counting as a bottomless supply. So yeah, I have no idea what's up with that. I just gave up on life. But it is working. All of this is working. This is filled with lava, so the steam engine is working. The only thing that it doesn't seem to be filling is this one. I'm not sure if this is going way too slow or if the lava is going to this setup, which it could very likely be the case. Everything else is working perfectly. I rotated my own schematic, which is the number one rule I always say not to break. Lucky me, I just had to fix a couple of things. Literally, fix the crashing wheels and fix this one. And it was quite easy to do everything else just by rotating the speed controller. It pretty much fixed. But yeah, it's working. It's great. I wish I could have done the farm because I kind of want to farm some more, but I think this will have to be it for this episode. It was quite a lot of progress and I don't want to stall this video for much longer. But yeah, it was good progress. Hopefully you all have fun. Hopefully you all learned something, I think, or two. I think we did quite a few new stuff that we didn't do before, like the colors and all of that. So I'm quite happy with all of the things that we did on this episode. So thank you so much for watching and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye!